If you want to enable or disable GPU acceleration in DaVinci Resolve, you're in the right place. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact settings you need to change so you can manually control which graphics card DaVinci Resolve uses, choose the right processing mode, and apply the changes properly. This is especially useful if you're troubleshooting slow playback, instability, or performance issues on your system. And before we jump in, if this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more simple DaVinci Resolve tips and editing guides. Alright, let's get started. First, open DaVinci Resolve and go to the top menu bar. Click DaVinci Resolve and then choose Preferences. This opens the main settings window where you can adjust hardware, memory, and performance-related options for the software. Once the Preferences window opens, click the System tab at the top. On the left side, select Memory and GPU. This section controls how DaVinci Resolve detects and uses your available graphics hardware, along with how it handles system resources. Now, look for the GPU configuration section. Here, you'll see an Auto box next to GPU selection. If you want full manual control, uncheck Auto. Turning off automatic selection lets you decide exactly which GPU or GPUs DaVinci Resolve should use during editing, rendering, and playback. Next, look at the list of available graphics cards. You can check or uncheck the boxes next to each one depending on what you want Resolve to use. If you enable a card, DaVinci Resolve will use that GPU for hardware acceleration. If you disable it, the software will ignore that card and rely on the remaining selected hardware instead. This is very helpful if you have more than one GPU, or if one card is causing problems and you want to test performance with a different setup. After that, move to the GPU Processing Mode drop-down menu. By default, this may be set to Auto, but you can switch it manually to opencl, cuda, or metal depending on your system. If you're using an NVIDIA graphics card, cuda is often the best choice. If you're on Mac OS, metal is usually the correct option. And on certain systems, opencl may help with compatibility or stability. Choosing the right processing mode can make a big difference in speed and reliability, especially if Resolve is not detecting your hardware correctly. If you work with Blackmagic RAW footage, you may also see the option to use GPU for Blackmagic RAW Decode. If that applies to your workflow, check or uncheck this box based on whether you want the GPU or the CPU to handle that decoding process. Enabling GPU decoding can improve performance during playback and editing, but in some cases, disabling it can help with troubleshooting if you're having issues with specific clips or drivers. Once you've made all the changes you want, click the Save button in the bottom right corner. This is important because it commits your new hardware settings to DaVinci Resolve's global preferences. After saving, close DaVinci Resolve completely and restart it. The changes will not fully take effect until the software reopens and reinitializes your graphics engine and driver connection. Restarting ensures your new GPU acceleration settings are properly applied. And that's it. You now know how to enable or disable GPU acceleration in DaVinci Resolve, switch between GPU processing modes, and fine-tune your hardware settings for better performance. If this tutorial helped, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next DaVinci Resolve guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.